What's up, guys? Here with you with podcast number 9 of FC Wonderkid. Here with my guy, Bretton. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing well, but it has been a very, very busy week of football. And last week we almost went over. So why don't we get right into it, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I really was. I felt responsibility to deliver in this podcast because I have a lot to say.
Mm.
And as you can assume, it's going to be the
Mm-hmm.
Portugal talk with the Hungary and the Germany game. I feel like it's important to speak about these two games because in both we saw two CDMs, Danilo and William. That
Yeah.
I'm gonna go straight up. Gnatu needs to start.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. A team like Hungary, which I'd assume Portugal says we're the favorites here. Let's go with a possession based team. Let's have Gnatu, No,
Yeah.
we go with two CDMs.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Like, this is.
I mean, he was a lightning rod versus Hungary. I know Hungary came back and drew France, but ultimately, I don't know. You look at that and you say, hey, this is a guy that might be able to do some things for us. Maybe I give him the start, and I was very surprised when I saw that 11. Even more surprised when I saw the outcome, and I could only think about you, Alex. I could only think about you.
And I'll tell you another thing. I'm watching the game. I see the first half. I see
Yeah.
the team. I'm like, okay, I understand. He's gonna come back in the second half. He'll bring on someone. No one. No one. I'm thinking, okay, to my friends, no worries. Something here will happen. 60th minute, 70th minute, we'll see a substitution. Nothing. 80th minute, he brings on Gnatu and Rafa. Like, how does he take so long? Like, I'd say any Portuguese person watching that game would have done the substitution earlier. I
Yeah.
don't get it. And you would think after seeing that, after that masterclass by Gnat Sanch, because
Sure.
the real MVP of that match against Hungary was Gnat.
Hmm?
Because the moment Gnat came on, the game changed. And I'll say another thing. I want to really mention this. Palhinha should play next to Gnat. Okay? It's not Danilo, it's not William, it's Palhinha. Because he is the best CDM of the three. I'm sick of this. I don't get it. I don't get it. And this is another thing I really want to say. We're playing Germany, okay? Germany. A team renowned for their fullbacks. They had
Yep.
Philip Lahm in their history, okay? And you,
Yep.
I'm sure you know many more fullbacks that Germany has. And they
Yep.
have Kimmich right now, which is let's say a Philip Lahm regen that's playing at right wing back. You would think we would prepare to have really good fullbacks against the German fullbacks. No,
Yeah.
they were crossing. We were letting them cross. I don't know what Nelson Smith came up. I don't know if he was like, I'm going to play against Germany. No, I don't know what happened. I don't know. This is a Fernand Sanch expose.
Yeah.
Cancelo is injured. Fernand Sanch exposed.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have happened if Cancelo had played, Breton.
Yeah.
Okay, this is true. But it happened, and I even played Dalot, even above Nelson Smith. And I like to say something else. Palhinha, if Palhinha had played against Germany, I can assure you, because I saw Sporting play, Palhinha goes to the wings and defends. He's so good supporting the fullbacks.
Yep.
Palhinha would support magnificently Nuno Mendes, which I'll say it on camera. I'll say this on camera. I'm gonna go bold. Joshua Kimmich wouldn't have had such an easy game like he had with Nuno Mendes.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't think Rafael Guerreiro was prepared. Tactically, I don't think he even had a talk with Fernand Sanch before the game. It was like you know what to do. Yeah, right, you know what to do. Leave the German fullbacks alone. I'm so mad, Brendan. Like, I was so happy after the Hungary game with the Ronaldo performance. I was going to come here glorifying Ronaldo. That I was expecting a hat-trick against Germany. Oh, my days. And this is what I'm here talking about.
it's tough, man. It's
I
tough.
like-
But
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I mean, I don't mean to listen. You're the expert when it comes to this, and you're obviously hey, this is football, especially football as a fan or as a countryman. But when it comes down to it, I gotta play devil's advocate here and basically say Germany was phenomenal, right? But leaving
Yeah.
those fullbacks, yeah, I mean, free reign of terror on either side to just drop in crosses left and right. That made no sense to me whatsoever. And you know me, I'm not a tactician. It's
No,
more
no, no.
like what is going on here and why does this continue to happen? And there was no audible, to use a football term. There was I'm sorry, an American football term. There was nothing that was happening there, and it just seemed I don't know. 2 own goals though, that's enough to deflate any team, right?
I was very surprised because Fernand Sanch
Yeah.
has the only card that Fernand Sanch has as if you were to ask me before that match, I'd say Fernand Sanch is an excellent defensive coach. Okay? He's known as an excellent defensive coach. Pá, peço desculpa, Sr. Fernando Santos, mas defesa não tem ali. Like, sorry, I needed to say, this is what I felt like. No defense was there.
Yeah.
No defense. No one was marking the fullbacks. Again, it's embarrassing. And Palhinha, Renato, Bruno. This will be the midfield. Like in years to come that people say, why didn't we play them? And even André Silva. Won't you give minutes to André Silva?
Bruno was barely even on the ball.
I,
That whole match.
look,
How is that even possible?
I'll be honest. Bruno, I don't know what happened in that match, but Bruno has a tendency of sometimes disappearing. Okay,
Sure.
It's true. He didn't perform that match. It happens. But if he's not performing, you as a manager, what do? You replace him. You got Pot, the top goal scorer in the Portuguese league. Why? If you need a goal, why don't you put him? Who are you going to put? Like, this is embarrassing. I don't... Like, if someone comes to me and says, oh, I'm starting to think Fernand Santos should be sacked, I'll be like, I understand you. Okay,
Right.
I'm not saying that we should sack him, especially in the middle of the tournament. Obviously, no. But after the tournament, if this continues, these decisions like substituting a player at the 80th minute against Hungary, if this happens, I'm sorry, it's not it.
Well, hearing you fired up is I don't know how we should just end the podcast now because you just
No.
you just
I
No,
got a
I'm
lot of
I'm
stuff.
just kidding.
That'd be too bad. I'd be so sad if we finished here.
Well, that's because here's the nature of football, right? It's a forgiving tournament, right? 24 play, 16 make it through to the next round. Yes, it's a tough loss, but Portugal has to find some way to, and obviously they have the quality to find the way back, and they don't exactly. I mean, okay, last 5 meetings, I think it's 1 win Portugal. We know which one that was. 1 draw and 3 losses, but I believe they have the quality to figure out how to eke through. And to be honest, if you eke through via wild card, it could be a better way forward for you than finishing second and going on from there. But
You see, but that's sad. Yeah, I know we're in a tough group. We're in a tough group, but the quantity of talent that we have is far superior than Germany.
Yeah.
Right now, and that's what I don't like. Let's start being achieving our potential as Portugal should expect and should demand to be the best. But we're going off here. This is the Euros.
Let me just make one little point to you from somebody who's obviously had a lot of success with the Portuguese national team and all these amazing players that have been coming through. Now you know a little bit like what I felt like when the U.S. couldn't beat a lowly, not to call them lowly in a bad way, but a very low-ranked Trinidad and Tobago team just to make and punch their ticket to the World Cup in 2018. You can imagine what type of deep depression I went into for days afterward. And I'm not, we were looking at a Christian Pulisic at 18 years old crying on the field because it was going to be a 4-year wait to potentially get the possibility to do it again. So there's still a game to play, but absolutely.
We'll get it done.
There you go. That's the thing. if he's going to get back in your good graces, right? What does he have to do versus France? And I'm sorry because we didn't discuss this beforehand, but
No,
what
no, no.
does he
Thank
have to
God.
do
I love the
versus
question. I love the question because if what is he? What first of all, he needs to start Gnat.
Okay.
Because if he doesn't start Gnat against Kante and Pogba, we've got two trees in the middle of our midfield, William and Daniel. They won't move. And if you know Kante, he moves a lot.
Yes, he does.
A lot. So if we keep those two, we're dead. We're
Yeah.
dead. It's simple. I'll even see the match lineup and I'll be crying beforehand. And I like to see Nuno Mendes. I don't care. I want to see Nuno Mendes. I want to see Nuno Mendes. I think Mbappe against Nuno Mendes would be its pace, its strength, and its ambition and hunger. And Nuno Mendes has that. Okay? And I don't think Fernando Santos needs to put Nuno Mendes. Okay, I wouldn't judge him if he didn't put, but I'll judge him if he doesn't put Gnat. That's for sure. And I'll judge him if he doesn't put André Silva in the second half if we're losing or if we're in a draw.
Okay.
Because we need goals.
Yeah.
Okay, goals. Put André Silva, maybe Rafa. You know, we need that injection, and sooner than the 80th minute. I'll judge if he does the substitutions again in the time that we need, and it's in the 80th minute. That's my answer there, Brent.
All right. Well, it's a little bit crazy to think that France actually is going to need. They're going to need a result after that tie to Hungary or that draw to Hungary. So it's going to be two full squads.
Imagine if Hungary had Dominic Szoboszlai. It would have been a much more difficult team to play against.
Yeah.
And maybe they would have won against France.
And COVID craziness aside, seeing that full stadium in Budapest, that was awesome. That was pretty. I mean, when the Hungarians took the lead, oh man.
I had a couple of friends there, and they enjoyed it. They loved it. They said it was amazing. But we got more matches in the Euros that we need to talk about. I wanted to go with the England-Scotland match because I feel like it's appropriate. And I wanted to mention something that the best midfielder in that game, in the England-Scotland match, was Billy Gilmour.
Of course.
Okay, he was the best midfielder next to teammate Mason Mount.
Yeah.
It was Billy Gilmour. I loved it. I was so surprised with how good he was.
So
like pressure. Yeah. You saw the pressure he was doing to Mount. Mount was hating him. Yeah. Fantastic performance. Billy Gilmour, I think he's like the MVP in every first match he does. So it's appropriate for him to be the MVP of this match.
And we'll see if he keeps his spot, but that was beyond his years, and certainly it's something we've all come to expect, I guess. But he needs consistency when it comes down to it, and obviously when it comes to international play, you don't just get consistency because you're one of the best on the team. You get consistency because you got to earn it. But I believe that was just his third cap, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's not really young anymore. He looks like he's 14. But the way he took on that pressure, and obviously there was a degree, or this player, right? Now, and you know how to play against him. You've done it in training. Let us see it, and we're going to unleash you on him, and he was able to neutralize it. But that, that's the type of that's what you want. And could you imagine if if they actually had the quality, maybe in center of defense, if McTominay could be in the midfield? There with them instead of, I believe he was at center back, right?
Yeah, but I was surprised too that Harry Kane didn't show up, and it's 2 matches. Harry Kane, I don't know what's happening, but I would recommend next match, 3rd match in the qualifying. He needs to get it done. He needs to get it done. Against Croatia, I do understand it can be a very high-level team because they know how to play with each other. But Scotland, I think you could perform against Scotland, So I'm expecting more. And
that's another instance of, Raheem Sterling Foden wasn't off, but he wasn't his same self, although he did have a couple electric moments. But yeah, I'm trying to see here. Did Jadon Sancho make the field?
I was gonna say that. Where's Sancho? No, but Sancho Sancho hasn't had 1 second to prove himself. Okay, yeah. Harry Kane. I'm not saying Harry Kane should. Harry Kane is a must starter, but the other players that are playing instead of Sancho.
Yeah.
Come on, I wouldn't. I'd at least give a half to Sancho, at least ahead of Rashford. I put Sancho ahead of Rashford. I don't think that's bold. Come on, United is having discussions to get Sancho for 80 million. Okay, if Rashford was Rashford, like the Man United fans expect him to be, like the GOAT in the making, they wouldn't be getting Sancho.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the truth. So he should have some minutes at least.
I agree with you. I think it was Grealish for Foden at the 63rd minute. It was Rashford for Kane at the 74th minute. And I mean, that game was just calling out for a Jadon Sancho appearance, and it just didn't come.
But another thing is, it's true now. Bale wasn't lying. It's Wales, Golf Madrid, or was it Wales Madrid? I don't know, but Madrid was last. That's what I remember. Yeah. And Wales was there at the top. Leader. I did say he was going to be a menace, but I wasn't expecting Turkey to be so bad. I said Turkey was a dark horse, okay? I'm going to expose myself here, but I was expecting more. How does Turkey perform this bad? Do you have any explanation on that?
No, I don't. And that's one where if we have any Turkish followers, which I know we do, please chime in here, because it confounds us. It makes no sense. I mean, you've got a couple warriors in the back there, but hey, it's one of those instances where you can put them all on paper and say, this is a good team. This is a dark horse. Yeah. And then when they play together, it ain't the same. It just ain't the same. It's not. I was
so hyped with Yilmaz. The amount of goals he'd score.
I've been underwhelmed by Yaziki. I've been underwhelmed by quite a few players on there. I actually can't even think of somebody that is really, really impressed. I mean, have you?
Well, yeah, but going on another note, you were right about Locatelli.
Absolutely. I mean, that was like, if I could put money on that, I should have put money on that. I mean, we both like Locatelli, and he's not just he's a whole lot more than what people think he is, right? Mm-hmm. And he can go from box to box. He can stay put. He can do whatever you need him to do. He's versatile as hell. And I just can't. I think it's only because he was Sassuolo coming into this tournament. Obviously, if he was Juventus and he was whatever.
100%. You're right. You're right on there. People often judge players because they're not on the big teams. And that's so bad. That's so FIFA culture. You know? Like, he doesn't have enough pace. He's not a good center back. Yeah. It's not all about pace. Chiellini, every game he plays for Italy, he proves that it's not about pace to be a center back. Positioning, awareness, anticipation, communication skills. I guess I that's another topic itself.
It is. Well, definitely on the international level. I mean, it just doesn't matter. The slate is clean. Nobody gives a crap what club you come from, and it's exactly why a team, an 11 from Hungary, can go toe-to-toe with a France. You know? True. It really has nothing to do. Yes, in the end, quality wins games, moments win games, but that's what's so great about football. It's a even playing field to start, and
You said something great about football, and I was thinking great. You said the word great. Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh my God!
Did you see that pass?
Yeah, I saw that.
Great pass. That pass that you think he'd shoot, but he passed the ball, and he shocked not just the opponents, but the people watching the game.
Yeah,
I love it. He sees passes that we don't even see on the screen.
You saw all like the backpedaling defenders falling down, ice skating, trying to change where they were going in order to get in front of it, because he surprised the crap out of people. Come on. You go from a broken eye socket, right? Yeah. To losing Champions League final, which has got to hurt, right? That just has to sit with you, or you know, big players, it fuels you. And KDB is here to he's here to get things done for Belgium. And man, all it took was what, 45 minutes? He
What
came
you
on
reckon though? What you reckon? No update on Belgium, because
well,
it's important. Like Lukaku is
yeah,
delivering. De Bruyne seems hot. Like he's in form.
yeah.
What do you expect here? Do you expect?
I still have them as finalists. I do.
Okay.
You know, I know I'm getting shtick for my Denmark pick, even though they're playing obviously resiliently and pretty amazingly, all things considered. But and I know I'm getting a little bit of flack for Austria, but yeah, Belgium was probably the biggest thing across. Okay, I picked a number 1 ranked team to be a finalist. But I love it. I mean, we talked about their defensive potential frailties, right? Them losing Castagna.
They still have it. They still have it.
They still have it. But if you can keep people on backpedaling like a KDB can, like a, you know, hell, even the 2 Hazard brothers, who knows if they can step it up a notch as they move on.
But I'll tell you something. Like, I'll tell you something here. If Belgium faces Italy, I think Italy's beating Belgium.
Right now,
I think Italy beats Belgium. We can say there's an argument there because Lukaku does know the center backs. Lukaku plays in Serie A. He performed there extremely well, so he can have a goal or 2.
Yeah.
But I still feel that Italy team. I feel that who Belgium gets next, I don't know how it's going, who they'll get next. But if they get a team with a top striker that can bully those center backs,
it'll be interesting.
It'll be tough.
It's gonna be tough. But speaking of tough, I mean, we talked a little bit about how obviously with the Eriksen situation, how that second game was going to be for Denmark, and man, did they come out with some fire and some, you know, intent to hurt Belgium, and you could see it. Belgium was on the back foot for the majority of that first half.
Oh yeah.
It took a Kevin De Bruyne, world-class player coming off the bench, to obviously change the tide. But I gotta isolate a Mikhail Damsgaard, a 20-year-old, plays for I believe he plays for Sampdoria. Yeah, he made the jump over there. Has really taken his time, you know, trying to kind of get his footing in Serie A. But ultimately, he was charged with, you can't fill Eriksen's boots per se, but he was in charge of trying to have a Christian Eriksen-like effect on the game. And he did his damnedest. I mean, he had 5 dribbles won. He was jump-starting counters. He was navigating tight spaces like he had been doing it for years with the Danish national team. And it was just a lot of fun to watch before De Bruyne and Lukaku took over. But
I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about that player.
Yeah.
And he really surprised me. I was really happy to see like a player, and especially a youth player. That shows how much the Christian Eriksen moment meant to this group of players. I'm sure they're gonna carry it to the rest of their careers. And yeah, it's shocking, but they proved they made Eriksen proud in that first half for sure.
Damn right.
For sure. Fantastic first half. Fantastic first half.
Yeah. Well,
we can go off here with the Euros, but so much to talk about.
I got one last thing to say here. I mean, there were 3 others actually I wanted, and we can run through them really quickly. But Alex Zinchenko versus North Macedonia. Okay. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if it's even realistic. You know City's squad a little bit better than I do. But Zinchenko in the midfield, I love it. I love it, man. I want to see more of it because, I mean, he was winning tackles left and right. He was kind of the metronome for Ukraine, and they needed that win, and they got that win. I believe he's actually leading the entire tournament in tackles won. So, like, by far, I think he's averaging 6 a game. I know only 2 games have been played, but that's important. And if you were worried about Zlatan not being with Sweden, and I know Sweden's not exactly lighting us up in terms of, wow, this is an amazing team to watch. But Alexander Isak is phenomenal. And he showed that against Slovakia. Once again, they needed a win. They got it. They're now sitting on 4 points. But there was like that near the end of the game, he took on 3 or 4 Slovakian
I
defenders.
saw that. Like, what a moment.
I loved it.
What a moment. Like,
And
Isaac. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. He performed. He performed.
he really did. And that's something I want to see. I want to see where he moves. If he moves after this tournament. I mean, could I see him staying at Real Sociedad? Sure, absolutely. But I do
No,
think the Sharks
I
are
don't see
circling.
him. Yeah,
Dortmund
exactly.
wants him.
What?
Dortmund wants him back. That's my guess.
It would
Maybe.
be a smart bet. Like, they'd sell Holland and maybe get Isaac on it cheap because they'd pay 30 million, right, for Isaac.
I think so. Was it that much?
I think it is. I think it's half. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's still a good deal if it's 30. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
Well,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Nah,
But
no worries, no worries.
he was the
Let's
only
go
one.
to the next topic.
Well, no, I'm not done yet. I got one
What?
more. We have to say it. Have to say it.
It's the
Remember,
Patrick
we
Schick.
talked. We talked. No, we should talk. We haven't spoken about 25-year-old Patrick Schick. Yeah, I mean, he is somebody that's been lighting it up for the Czech Republic. He hasn't really figured out his club game yet, but he's been pretty phenomenal. And that obviously that goal was unbelievable. But no. I mean, we talked in those. What was it? 5 players to watch. 5 breakout players for the U21 Euros.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we talked about Jude Bellingham. This was like 3 or 4 episodes ago. Well, Jude Bellingham broke the record. We talked about that, right? Broke the record, youngest player ever to appear in a Euros game. And then not even a couple days later, Kasper Kozlowski did come on for Poland.
Yes,
and he's 100 days younger than Jude Bellingham. And he beat the record, becoming the youngest. And I just wanted to make everybody remember that this kid, not even a little more than 18 months ago, was in a hospital bed with a broken back, broken hip, and then had 6-7 months off, almost, I think more than that, and has continued to just find his way into the highest levels. And the only thing that's next is making that big move. And if there's not somebody coming in for him after this tournament, if they weren't already looking at him previous to this tournament, they sure as hell are now. So hopefully we see him a little bit more moving forward. But he broke that record versus Spain, and man, that's a good team to break that record against.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that is true. Kasper Kozlowski, 2 players breaking records in Euro 2020. Jude Bellingham and Kasper Kozlowski. Fantastic stat.
Unbelievable.
True. Now we can go with the 17-year-old talk to the Golden Boy. 100 nominees are out, and we got a couple of them we want to highlight. I'll start with Jeremy Doku, which is super fitting to be there, and I feel like he's going to the transfer market this summer, with many people seeing an 18-year-old winger for Belgium right now in the Euros. We could get him for 50, 60 million maybe. So, what do you think? Like, I saw Doku in the list. I was straight away, I was attracted to that name.
Of course. You know, him and Camavinga winding up in the same place at Rennes. It's just unbelievable that they've even been able to hold on to him that long. Both of them that long.
Mm-hmm.
I know Doku just got there, but watching him make his transition from Anderlecht to Stade Rennais has been pretty amazing. And he's just one of those guys that has just this innate talent to break open defenses if he gets the chance to. I think he needs to build around the rest of his game. But he had an impact last year, even amidst his first year in Liga 1. So I think he's going to, I don't know. I mean, do you think he makes a big high-profile move after this? We keep thinking we're going to see him for Belgium. And
he might need to. I think there's going to be a game or two he'll come off the bench because he's very fast. He's really good with those dribbles. Like the stats prove themselves in Liga. I think he was above Mbappe and Neymar, and dribbles passed in Liga. But you got Doku. You got. I was seeing the names. You got Moriba. You got Rodrigo, Gio Reyna, and Wirtz. You got those 2. Who do you think you'd rank above now, Gio Reyna or Wirtz? Having this quick Golden Boy talk.
Come on, goodness. You're killing me. I mean, I just watched Reina have a pretty amazing effect on a U.S.-Mexico final to win the
Mm-hmm.
CONCACAF Nations League. To do that, it's a little bit different. USA-Mexico is a little bit different. I don't know, but then
But
Florian
he did it in the under 21 European tournament though, in the
Wirtz,
final against Portugal. Wirtz
yeah, and
was.
that's the other thing is Wirtz also led his team. So it's just one is the full international team, and the other is not. But we know that Wirtz probably deserved to have a roster spot in this Euros, or he certainly wouldn't have looked out of place, right? He would have
Mm-hmm.
had something to offer to this team. But I don't know. Come on, man. I do think Reina has a higher ceiling. I
Okay.
absolutely think Reina has a higher ceiling. But where do I rank them for these Golden Boy nominees? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you bring up a good point. Never before that I know of. I mean, I'll have to go back and take a look at this Golden Boy whatever. And some people just kind of throw it away and they say it's like a popularity contest. Others love to look at it. And it becomes their short list for Football Manager or FIFA moving forward. But there are 3 Americans on it, and that's pretty amazing to me. Just from it's like a seminal moment for Americans everywhere to see. You got Gio Reyna, you have Yunus Musa. And then, I love Brian Reynolds. I think he's got a lot to offer, but I think it's a little early to have him on the nominees list.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be very interesting to see a Brian Reynolds in the hands of a Jose Mourinho at Roma. But the fact that there are 3 Americans there is very, very cool. I mean,
It is. And I wanted to mention another player that I don't think gets a lot of love. And I feel like it's not because if he was English or he was Italian or French or even Portuguese, you get more of my love. But Zolish at PAOK. He's in the nominees, and when I saw his name, I said, he deserves to be there, 100%. And it saddens me that people don't see him like we do, because he's that good. He's 19 now,
Yeah.
and I can assure you, Dortmund, all these teams that are gonna, like Sancho's leaving Dortmund, I don't think Zolish is a bad fit to go to Dortmund. He's got the numbers, he's got the quality, extremely overlooked player.
Okay. Well, the only other thing I wanted to bring up there is if you take, say, maybe the 5 top favorites for the Golden Boy, I'm looking at Bellingham, Saka, Greenwood,
Pedri.
and if you count Musiala as
Pedri.
an English. No, I'm just saying that 3 of the top 5 favorites.
Oh,
we
sorry.
know Pedri. We can talk about who we actually think is going to win in a second, but 3 of the top 5 favorites being English. I mean, that's if they've got one hell. If they can figure out how to actually piece all these young guys together, they're gonna be a scary national team for years.
You see, it's very interesting for us to have this talk now, because now with the Golden Boy, I'm thinking here, England will have Foden on the wing, maybe Sancho on the wing, Hudson-Odoi on the wing, Noni Madueke on the wing. if we go deep here, and I'm sure there's and Mason Greenwood, like
Saka, if you play
Saka on the wing, of course. So the options, it's unbelievable. But Greenwood needs to be in the top 10 list, to say the least. Okay, top 5, 100%. But Jude Bellingham and Pedri, those 2 top 3. Jude, because he scored in the Champions League knockout stages and is in the debate to start for England.
Yeah.
And Pedri, because Pedri is Pedri. It's not bold to say.
Pedri?
Who do I pick?
I think it comes down to Jude or Pedri. So who do you pick?
I pick Pedri. Because I think Jude is going to be a better player. He's going to have a better career than Pedri. But Pedri this season, he didn't come to Barcelona to start straight away. Jude did. Okay, Jude is 16 going to Dortmund. You don't expect him to start straight away, and he does have an impact too. But Pedri's doing it at Barcelona, and he's passing the ball to Messi. Okay, so he's in the middle of all these legends and such an iconic Camp Nou. La Masia talents against him, coming on a low fee. It was 5 million when it was announced. Now it's 30. Okay, but Pedri didn't have the expectations. He demanded for himself, as we can see,
The biggest
because
Las Palmas hustle you've
fa-
ever got. 5 million euros for this kid.
what a
Big
player. It's not now we know it was like 25 million
right,
because
right.
those
There's
sketchy Barca deals.
cloud.
But
Yeah.
I hope Laporta won't do them like Bartomeu, but that's a whole other conversation. But I wasn't expecting Pedri to be this good, and that's why I'm gonna give him the underdog the prize in this
And
one.
I'm going to agree here and just tack on to your point that I mean he's also learning from Messi. He's not just playing with him. He's not just playing day in day out. He's learning from him and he's soaking it up and he's that type of a player. I mean, and he's also in just this rare Barcelona moment where they're actually going to play him through his mistakes, is what it seems like, and the very few mistakes he does make because he's very technically sound. He's very smart for his age. It's just a sign that they expect this kid to be like a fixture of the new generation.
Yeah.
Of Barca, and it sucks for a guy like Ricky Puig. It sucks for a guy, others that really would like to work their way in there. But ultimately, he's shown that he's willing to learn from what he's doing, and the fact that he's got another year or two potentially from Messi, we'll see. I do. That shouldn't be why he wins Golden Boy, but frankly, we're talking about. They're both young. They're both going to be Golden Boys for, I don't know, the next 4 years, 3 years. It's unbelievable.
Yes, and there's another nominee too in the Barca midfield, and that's Moriba.
Yeah.
Which he should be a nominee. And I'm super excited for the expectations of Moriba. Frankie de Jong, we didn't mention in the Euros, but Frankie de Jong with Pedri, that's such a good ball possession duo there. Because the ball you won't lose it easily. You won't lose the ball easily. But I think it's too soon to have Moriba, Pedri, Frankie. It's too young of a midfield. I feel like a Wijnaldum deal, if it were to happen, it would have been nice. But that's a whole other conversation. But Moriba being there, also there, shows that La Masia hasn't stopped pumping talents.
No. I mean, let's look at the last few Golden Boys, right? Mbappe, De Ligt, João Felix, Haaland, obviously switched around, and that's the actual chronological order. So Haaland, Felix, De Ligt, and Mbappe. I mean, there's no duds here. There's no duds. I mean, okay, João Felix, for the money that was paid for him, you have a whole camp that is questioning him, but we all know his talent. We all know his.
I'm already building up like you're.
I'm hedging, but if you're gonna take any one of those and start to rip it apart and say, the Golden Boy didn't get it right, whatever. Obviously, people are gonna. There's hits and misses against João Felix right now, but hey, he just won La Liga, so he doesn't give a shit.
True.
He doesn't. True. But who fits there? Pedri. I mean, I don't know if you can put a Jude there. It's not as if Jude was transformative for Dortmund this year. You could make the argument either was Pedri, but they're both just amazing talents, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a little bit of a battle for years to come with them.
But I want to say something with what you said with the take about Felix.
Yeah.
Renato Sanches won the Golden Boy award. And 2 years ago or a year ago, not many people were rating Renato Sanches. And after Swansea loan, people were saying he's the biggest flop on earth. Okay? And I remember talking to you and defending Renato, saying, look, this is only a bad time. He was with Ancelotti. Ancelotti wasn't even playing Kimmich at the time. So it's not a big problem in my head, him not playing Renato. He was having a tough stage, and it mentally for a player like him, he needs to play. He needs to play in the right game style. A lot happened. I see the same happening that happened to Renato Sanches being called a flop, which right now João Felix is being called a flop by many people. I see the same happening.
It's tough. And I think those criticisms won't go away the longer he stays within a Simeone setup. But either he adapts or I don't know. I mean, he will. I think he will.
And I really hope so. I hope so. I get all sensitive. With João Felix talk.
I understand.
He's like my Christian Pulisic.
Yeah. So does his brother have a higher ceiling?
Ook Felix. He's a fantastic talent at Seychelles. I'm not gonna say he's got a higher ceiling, but I did see João Felix scoring a wonderful goal against Porto,
There you
and
go.
that got me hyped up. So
Okay.
one to watch at Seychelles. One to watch.
And you're probably right. João Felix is my Christian Pulisic. That's for sure. I think that's a solid comparison on my end in terms of I will defend. I'll defend a lot of these guys to the death.
So here we got the preview of the Golden Boy. Put in the comment sections who you think is going to win the Golden Boy, because we always like to see the comments.
Absolutely.
And subscribe and like to this video if you can. It would be a huge help. So our next topic is kind of related to the Golden Boy, but it's 10 breakout stars for next season. Wonderkids. Wonderkids talk always.
Always.
You want to start?
Sure, I'll start with one. I mean, he's at the Euros right now.
Okay.
I don't think we've seen enough of him, mainly because Patrick Schick has actually been scoring goals. I know one was a pen, but Adam Plozzak is just an amazing story, and he's a story that not many people know because he hasn't necessarily gotten that chance on a big stage. But this kid was injured for like 15, 16 games last year and still led the Czech league for Sparta Prague in goal scoring, right? He had 15 goals, and that's even after missing those 15 games. He comes back, he gets healthy enough, scores a bunch of goals, and he winds up being, the youngest Czech player, one of the youngest Czech players on the roster. He is a guy that I want to see make a move, which kind of hinders him being a breakout player. But I'm talking about being a breakout player on a bigger stage, nothing against Sparta Prague, but being, a bigger player on a bigger stage. And I think if he makes that move, it's going to be really interesting to watch whether or not he can do that. I do know West Ham has been trying to figure out whether or not they want to bring him in, add him to that Czech contingent. Makes a whole lot of sense. So I think that's an interesting destination, and he's somebody that I would like to see break through to the next side.
I like him. Good pick. I like him. Good pick. And it was so unfortunate his injury. I did feel you there. My pick is going to be Brian Brobby. Why?
Okay.
Because I'm extremely excited that Brian Brobby is finally going to have the game time he needs. Seeing him coming off the bench for Ajax in the Europa League, come on. He always had an impact. And I expect to see the same at RB Leipzig. Jesse March is the coach. You know him pretty well, better than I do. But what I know is Dominic Szoboszlai behind Brian Brobby means goals. And that's a fantastic duo that's going to be at RB Leipzig next season. Exciting times. Gvardiol recently moved there, but you can say Upamecano left. But RB Leipzig is very promising for next season. That's a fact.
I agree, especially for a breeding ground. That sounds terrible. For a
development club.
Exactly, a collection of wonder kids that we're going to get to watch day in, day out. And the funny thing is Brobby, I think, is going to be what they thought like a Patrick Schick or a Alexander Sorloth was going to be up top for Leipzig when they brought them both in. Now, obviously, those are two lumbering like target strikers for the most part. Broby's going to be a target striker as well as mobile. I mean, he's the Brobeast for a reason, right?
He'll be better.
I think you're right. And Jesse Marsh, this is like a perfect segue that you just made picking Broby. I think Broby is going to be what Karim Adeyemi is right now in the Red Bull Salzburg setup. And Marsh was essentially using Adeyemi as that spark plug off the bench for Salzburg, and he had 9 goals, 11 assists last year, and he did it in like not a lot of minutes. So the kid, and we can argue about the quality of the Austrian Bundesliga, but goals are goals, people.
Yeah,
right?
He's a fantastic talent.
You got to still score him, and with Daka going to Leicester, I know we're getting ahead of the game here, but with Daka potentially going to Leicester, it is going to open up that number 1 spot for Adeyemi. And I guarantee you, barring any major injury, by next year, you and I will be talking about which major team Karim Adeyemi is moving to. Not that Salzburg isn't in that question, right, of really good developmental teams.
Yeah.
But Adeyemi is one. He
He
just
could be
breaks out.
another breakout. He could be another breakout star we just mentioned here on the
I,
on
I
the on the dot.
I sincerely look forward to the Brendan Aronson Kareem Adeyemi hookup. It's going to
That is
be.
exciting. That
It
is
is.
exciting.
Yeah.
So who's your second pick on the breakout?
Ooh. Well, that would be mine. Adeyemi.
Okay.
Kareem
Okay.
Adeyemi. But I can go again. You want me to go again?
No, I can let me. Okay, I can go on this one. So I'll say Mukoko, Yusufa Mukoko.
Okay.
Why? Because I want to see if the 141 goals in 88 youth matches really
Hmm.
means business.
Yeah.
He was the youngest Champions League player ever, and the youngest player to play in the Bundesliga too. So expectations are the highest. Okay, and you got
Awesome.
Holland saying he's a much better talent than he was at 15. So I'm hyped. But I expect Mukoko to score goals for Dortmund's main team too. I'm
Yeah.
excited. He's my
Well,
breakout star. I'll watch him.
I like that pick a lot. But I'm kind of mad at you right now because I want him under the spotlight. I
Hmm.
just he just needs to come in, work his ass off in training camp, and get the time, which we're pretty confident he will. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he will produce. I think a lot of that in the U17s, U15s to the U17s to the U19s. He didn't have any real expectations on his shoulders
True.
except for the social media, like blow up the stats every time. But I got to tell you, some of the
True.
most fun, one-on-one or one-to-one connections that we saw with the U17s and the U19s for Dortmund was that Gio Reyna when he first came over there and Mukoko
Yes.
lining up together was just so much fun. So I'm with you. I expect big things, but let's all take a deep breath and make sure that Mukoko is given the space to get done. I
Mm-hmm.
keep cursing. Why am I cursing? I'm mad
Well,
because Portugal
s-
lost.
you said it. Gio Reyna with Mokoko back
Mhm.
again. I think that's gonna be good. I think
Yeah,
that's good. So
yeah.
who's the next one?
All right, the next one for me is a little bit out of left field. Which sorry for the yeah baseball analogy, but I'm gonna go with João Pedro.
I
Okay.
like it. Good.
Yes, Watford has booked their ticket. They are on their way back up, and already they're making people go, "What the hell are you doing in the transfer market?" And I think João Pedro is going to get to play through his mistakes. I think if that Watford has any chance staying up this coming
Mm-hmm.
year, I do believe it's going to have to be because João Pedro has grown in the championship, kind of like a Harvey Elliott,
Mm-hmm.
and has come in. Except Harvey Elliott can be worked in. João Pedro is literally going to be looked at and said, "Hey, remember what you were doing in the championship? Do that again in the Premier League." Right?
I
So
expect it though. I
I,
expect it though. It's tough for Brazilian players to go to the English league straight away. Which that I was really surprised how good Richarlison
mhm.
developed in Everton. But João Pedro, I I liked what I watched. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Watford did a really good signing. I wasn't expecting a team like Watford get João Pedro.
Yeah, let's be honest
That's
though, they signed like five people that were not good quality before they landed João Pedro. So
yeah.
and it's been a long road with him. It has been a pretty long road with him, right? They've given him the time to transition and for the money they spent, and I really do hope that it's a necessity for them. They need
Mm-hmm.
to see him turn in some transformative moments in order to have some stability and stay up in the Premier League. But I
Well,
think we can see it. I
you
think we
got a
can see
good pick there. You got a good pick there with João Pedro.
it. Thank you.
So my next one, I'm gonna go with Zaniol. I know it's not a bold pick because we already know that Zaniol means business and he's a fantastic talent.
Yeah.
But a player that comes back from an ACL injury is always doubtful if he's gonna come back the same way. But I've seen a couple of pictures and Zaniolo looks fit and he looks ready. So I'm extremely excited to see the Mourinho slash Zaniolo link up.
Okay.
And I have seen Mourinho even comment that he's extremely excited to work with Zaniolo.
Good.
And I think he's going to redeem himself with youngsters. Okay? Because
Oh,
Mourinho, I believe in him. I
okay.
believe in him, Mourinho. Come on. Bring it to the Portuguese people.
Oh,
Come
man.
back.
Wow. Redeem himself with a youngster as well. I can't think of a better youngster to redeem himself with than Polo Zaniolo, right?
Yeah.
I
Zaniol,
mean,
he needs it.
yeah. I hope he stays healthy. It's just one of those ones where it was not once, right? It was twice.
I think he's definitely had 2 long injuries. And
Yeah.
I know the second one is ACL, and it's
And
so
he was
unlucky.
he was on fire
Yeah.
before I
Champions
think
League.
the first one, and he had come back. He had like just scored his first goal again or whatever, and then got injured again. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. That's an aspirational like this type of thing. We're really pulling for him, and also you got to pull for Jose Mourinho to
Mm-hmm.
do his
It's a
not do.
breakout. I expect a breakout.
All right. Well, my next one is another one where I'm just I don't know. I love this player. I know you love this player. Every time he's got the foot at the ball at his feet, it's magic. And it's Rayon Cherky. I mean,
Good pick.
he is just a freaking
He's
magician.
a bad man.
He is.
Shirky is a bad man.
He is, and he needs that. With Memphis Depay leaving, I do think it's time, Leon, to start to lean on your academy again, right?
Yeah.
And you've got some people there, Malo Gusto behind that, and oh crap, I didn't prepare the other 2 or 3 that are like on the tip of my tongue right now, but Cherky is one that, yeah, I mean, he was able to get some starts last year. He had some ups, some downs. He needs to be able to play through his mistakes.
Yes.
He does make mistakes because he's very offensive centric, a lot like a Hatem Ben Arfa, right?
I agree.
And I just want to see that happen because he's got that natural ability that like something else, that je ne sais quoi, right? Yeah. That we know that the foundation of a generational talent is built on. I can't call him a generational talent, but I want to see him break out, and he has to be given license to do so. Or
you said it right. You said it right. He's got the foundations of a generational talent. You said the Ben Arfa. If you're listening to this and you like Ben Arfa, you'll absolutely love Ryan Cherky. And what's good about this is that Cherky is performing at Liga at such a young age. He's an under 18 talent, French descendant, Algerian descendant, but it plays for France.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored a clutch goal with such a cold celebration against Monaco. And I think this kid is destined for big moments. I think Cherky loves it. Loves the big moments. Clutch goals. I think, and it's not the first time he scores a clutch goal for Lyon. So yeah, you got a good pick there. I thought
about that one. All right, who's your next one?
My next one and my final pick is gonna be Eduard Quaresma of Sporting.
Okay.
Why? Because Eduard Quaresma, not this season, last season, he was playing a lot with Ruben Amorim on the late stages, and he was performing extremely well. But this season, the time was given more to Fedal, Gonçalo Inácio, and Coach. But I have a feeling that next season we're going to see a lot of Eduard Quaresma.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a quick story about him. Like, I'll never forget, like, seeing the Under-17 European Championship and Eduard Quaresma being the captain of a team with Paulo Bernard, Fábio Silva, a team full of stars. And I think mature-wise and confidence, he's got it, okay? He's not afraid. He's a people's guy. And I know I'm speaking a lot on the psychological part, but I think it's really important, especially for a center back, to be an intelligent person, okay? Because you need to anticipate, you need to read the game, and Eduard Quaresma is that type of player. He thinks with his brain, and physically, he's a fast player, he's got good pass, he knows where to be on the pitch, and I'm extremely bullish with him. Extremely bullish.
Wow, you're using the stock talk. All right. So he's well, we can't say Tesla anymore. He's Apple or something. I don't know. That's good. That's good to hear. I mean, I know he did get a brief spell in the Sporting squad. End of not last season, the season before that, correct?
Yeah.
And then he was just shut out by
Oh,
players just
sorry,
doing really
sorry.
well.
When I meant last season, it was like the other season, like
The other
the not the one that we passed. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
and see that's what you got to say. Like Rayon Cherky, right? He's got an innate talent with the
mm-hmm.
ball at his foot, and he's fearless, and he'll take you on, and he will leave you, yeah, in his trail.
Uh,
Quaresma, though, having high IQ for a young age is another one of those kind of foundational things that you can build a profile
exactly.
off of, and there's a lot of young players like that right now. There really are.
Do you want to
Um,
talk about the moves that they can do though? We got 10 minutes here,
Yeah,
so
I got one more, and I'm just going to quick shout out because you went with one Portuguese player. I'm going to go with Gianluca Busio, who who has shown that he can do it at the 6. He's shown he can do it at the 8. He's shown he can do it at the 10 for Sporting Kansas City. And I believe it's time for him. He's already broken out in Major League Soccer. I believe it's time for him to. He's got an Italian passport. Let the kid fly. And I would imagine he lands with a Serie A club or an Eredivisie club at some point in the near future. And first, he's going to hopefully get called into the Gold Cup roster and kick ass. So he's one I really would like people to watch because he has taken a big leap from, hey, that kid is a 17-year-old, is pretty decent, to now I believe he's 19, and he's just phenomenal to watch. So
agreed.
that's our last one. But straight to transfers, right? Let's keep moving.
Let's go. You go with it. I'm feeling you.
Okay. All right. I mean, I got to start with Patson Daka, right? We got Jesse Marsch moving over to Red Bull Leipzig. Totally thought Patson Daka was going to go with him to Red Bull Leipzig.
I told you.
You did tell me, and I didn't listen. I never do, Alex. Patson Daka, 34 goals, 12 assists last year in 42 games. Again, we can talk about the quality of the Austrian Bundesliga, but I mean, this kid, you have guys before him like Erling Haaland putting up similar numbers, Sadio Mane putting up similar numbers, Muna Stabur, who I believe actually did play pretty well upon moving on from Salzburg, Dominic Soboschlei.
Yep.
These guys have put up very similar numbers in the same league, and arguably a league that's been getting better because of how good Salzburg's been doing in the European competitions. But imagine him in a Tielemans, Madison. I mean, I don't know what you do with Iheanacho, but Patson Daka, he's good for 10 goals next year potentially in the Premier League if all goes well.
I agree. And the style of play that Leicester play, I can see Patson Daka filling in the boots of Iheanacho. And I dare to say I can see Patson Daka having a better season. I know Iheanacho had a fantastic season, but I'm going to go bold. And I wouldn't be surprised if Patson Daka had a better season than Iheanacho had for Leicester. Yeah. And I just want to say this because I'm thinking about it nonstop. Soumaré and Patson Daka. These two transfers, just these two transfers are way better than anything that I expect to see from Arsenal or Tottenham. Just these two, Soumaré and Patson Daka. Just these two. Embarrassing.
It's tough, man. They lost out to Buendia. They're losing out to Ben White. You got people that they're not even fielding bids for Smith Rowe, which I think is smart. They can't sign Aouar. I just feel bad for Arsenal fans.
And I see some comments on TikTok. Oh, what do you think of Camavinga coming here to Arsenal?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why would Camavinga go to Arsenal? You saw what happened to Guendouzi.
Yeah.
That wasn't good. That was not good.
This is a time to trust your youth. If I'm Arsenal, I know that there's a history, a heritage, and getting the most out of your signings for the most part, at least for the earlier stages of the 2000s. But come on, you got Smith Rowe, Saka, Tierney, who's obviously not Arsenal built, but obviously he's won a nice fandom at Gunners. You got Balogun. You've got a bunch of phenomenal players that are coming through here. Now's the time. You don't have continental worries. You let it happen. Let it marinate. Build it from the ground up. I do like the idea of bringing in a guy like Albert Sambi Lokanga from Anderlecht because he's a freaking warrior.
Fantastic.
And he was for Anderlecht. And I know all Anderlecht fans will support us in that. And he's just a class guy. To put him in a midfield with Partey sounds pretty amazing to me, and let them work through things and get it done. But yikes, I'm with you, and I hate it because Arsenal, I remember growing up, it was, wow. I mean.
Me too. But you did mention Tierney. The only reason why I think Arsenal fans really like Tierney is because when you see Tierney play, he doesn't want to lose. He hates losing. And I think what Arsenal fans are sick of is a complacency, not just on the field, but at the top. It's complacent, okay? It's complacent in my opinion. The wrong decisions are being made, okay? Yeah. Aubameyang, where you at? Where is Aubameyang? Like this, you got the extension, okay, now deliver. Because you're getting world-class money, so we want world-class performances. None. And that's why I think a Tierney, if he was getting paid what Aubameyang's getting paid, he's the type of player of emotionally he gets so frustrated. I can't even imagine.
I know.
Players like Saka, Tierney, they show they really love the club, and I feel like that's why Arsenal fans love them.
They wear their heart on their sleeve, and you know it took a transfer embargo on Chelsea. To start to actually trust some of their youth. And I get it. Arsenal did play some of their youth this year. I understand that, right? But build around them and give them the tools to succeed and bring in the right players, not just players, and you'll get things done. That's easier said than done. We don't make the big bucks to do this, and we can argue every side of the coin here, but I just want to see Arsenal fans get better. I want to see Spurs fans get better than what they currently are getting from their higher ups. And I think we could probably leave that there, right? Because there's a lot we could unbuckle there, and maybe we need to have some, Arsenal fans on the whatever. We'll do something in the future. But anyway, the other one that happened, you had Wijnaldum go to PSG instead of land at Barcelona. How about Depay to Barcelona? What do you feel about that?
What a move. Yeah. What a move by Barcelona. I don't if I was me, the Barcelona rebuild wouldn't be done the way it's being done, but I know that the conversation was, look, Messi, you want to win, right? Yes. If you're going to stay, you have to win. Like we need a team to win right now. So I'm not surprised, but I think it's a Coleman demand too, and I don't think Coleman is going to stay long term. Yeah. So I'm a bit here and there with that transfer. I think it was a good transfer for now, but long term we're going to look at it and we're going to say.
And I just need to add kind of a counterpoint to that, not even Barcelona related. The whole Lyon thing is just kind of, they finished fourth last year, right? Yeah. But to let Depay go for free.
It's bad management.
What is going on there? I mean, what is it going to take? And this is a whole nother episode we could do, maybe as the club season gets.
We got 2 minutes, so it really has to.
What do we have to do to see the Chris's and the Sydney Govus and the Juninhos and the Essians and Maludas, Benzemas and Abidal? What do we have to do to see that again at Lyon, right? And maybe Rayan Cherki is the reason. I don't know, or the catalyst behind all this. I have no clue, but. Tottenham, Arsenal, Lyon, bring them back.
I remember when I was a kid, Lyon was winning Ligue 1. Every Ligue 1 was Lyon, and I was then PSG came and conquered it. So this was episode 9. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're here, please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check us on Spotify. That if there's any way you want to help us, it's playing our videos, liking our videos, and just showing support.
And I'll tell you what, we take constructive criticism, so please send it our way, things you want. I know we're going to try and get timestamps and other things kind of moving here.
Yeah.
But, and there's just so much football to talk about, so we can't get to everything. But ideas, topics, things you want to hear about, let us know. We're always listening.
Okay. See you guys.
See ya.